This week's upcycle is focusing on all those amazing hand knit and crochet pieces that are everywhere in thrift stores. Okay, so if you can look past all of the clutter, I have like a bajillion projects going at once. Alright, so I picked up this blanket and it was partially undone. So a lot of like, see how it's like not all together. The person didn't completely finish it, but I really like the colors on it for making, I was thinking about making like a scarf out of it. So I think I'm going to cut it down the middle and add some edging to both sides, and that could be 2 scarves, which I think will be really cute. And then it came with both ends had these like pockets, and I thought this could be really cute on going to be making aprons specifically for artists, and I just think this would be really artsy. I could even add like maybe an embellishment in the center here, and then this would be like the pocket on an artist apron. Of course, you could use it for whatever you want. It doesn't have to just be art, but those are the projects I'm going to try to make out of this blanket. I think I might have found the edging that I'm going to use. I have a lot of this purple lace, and I think it's not a perfect match with which I let me get this pin out of my mouth. It's not a perfect match, which I like. I'm not into like the matchy. Here, let's just take one of these pockets and see. So I need to cover what is in my throat? I need to close the edge, and I don't know how I feel about this. So for the longest time, I was always afraid to cut into these knit or crochet pieces for the fear that they were going to unravel. But I've found through doing many of them, as soon as I cut it, as long as I move it very minimally, and then I sew whatever I'm going to sew to close the edge, I run into like little to no issues. It's just handling it as little as possible and sewing it as quickly as possible. Now this blanket in particular, you can see the white. I was originally thinking I was going to keep the netted purple on the part that I'm cutting, but that's unrealistic. I decided I wanted to pluck all that out and keep the netted purple in between lengthwise, but go ahead and pluck it all out in the center section I'm cutting. It's kind of hard to describe, but I'll show you the best I can. Because I'm plucking that out, I don't even have to worry about it unraveling because the white squares are finished. They are not going anywhere. Okay, so see all of that scalloped edging, that's what I want to keep. And then the short netted bits. But here along these edges, I want to pull out all of this, and I have to do that with a seam ripper. I just need to pluck these one by one without ripping the white, and that's why I have to be patient. A lot of people say this is the part that they enjoy. They just go into this sort of flow-like state. For me, this is the part of the project that I absolutely dread because it's so tedious and it's so boring, and it's the part that I'm most likely to get impatient and mess it up. But I will come back when I have this finished. Okay, that's done. So now I'm trying to narrow it down to which trim I want to use. The purple lace wasn't quite right. This purple and gold matched perfectly, but it still wasn't quite right when I held it on. And the blue lace, I don't like that either. So I finally settled on this white. It's like a thick seam binding, and I'm going to add lace on top of that. So I decide I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of fabric glue to hold it in place before I take it over to the sewing machine, because I learned from the past that this tends to move around a bit, and if I just glue it in place a little bit, this helps so much, but I have to wait until the glue dries before I sew it. Okay, this is how it came out. It's very artsy. I love this. The funny thing was I was going to leave it at the thrift store. I was like looking it over and I had it in my cart. And you know, like when you take your cart to a corner and you start looking over the pieces and looking for flaws, and I'm seeing that it's incomplete, and I'm like, okay, I don't think I want to mess with this. And then this lady came over to me and was like, oh, look at that. Isn't it so beautiful? Somebody, you can tell they really put their heart into making that. And then I was like, oh my God. Okay, I feel like now I can't leave it here. I I agree. Somebody really put a lot of effort in this. Let's see what I can create with it. And so that's how this whole thing started. This is going on my eBay and Poshmark because once I make it, it's like I just want to go on to the next thing. I can't hoard all these projects. But let me know what you think. Was this a success, or what would you have made with this blanket? All right, until next time. Peace.